And we are live. Map 3. Ohana and TaeJa, who looked very, very good in Game 1, taken down in Game 2. And I got to say, I agree. Like, First has had some really solid engagements. He's made some good decisions. That time, he did not let drops even factor into the play at all. But remember as well, there were also those really weird moments where TaeJa just missed a potentially crippling timing by a matter of seconds. A few more hit points on that rock, and I think he would have picked up and dropped directly into main. That would have been a long road back for these players. And I've talked too much. Let me go ahead and introduce these guys in the Northwest position as the blue Protoss. It is LGIM first, tying up the game after game number 2. And here in the Southeast position as the Red Terran, we've got TeamLiquid's TaeJa.
And looking back at that game, I think there were 3 key moments where First held it together. One was denying those drops. He did that incredibly well, had his stalkers always in the right position. Number 2 was obviously that huge engagement. That was as much him playing well as it was TaeJa making a mistake, but we've seen players try to capitalize on TaeJa making mistakes in the past, get it reversed, and end up dying. Number 3, it's difficult to give someone credit for something they didn't do, but he tried to crash that 12 o'clock planetary when he didn't have enough. And I think a lot of weaker players would have got tunnel vision and A-moved into that planetary and died. First didn't do that. He regrouped, rebuilt, and then attacked.
Yeah, it's a great point. And, I mean, obviously, TaeJa saw with the forces that he had, it's too much. I tap out. I'm done. And that elicited response is perfect. Because, First didn't have to do anything. He could have lost everything trying to continuing barrage that third base with the remaining units that he had. So it was wise up, let those shields recharge, get those Archons out in the field, and then go back to business when the time is right. But we see the one barracks down. Gas was also seen by that probe. Probe is just going to go down and possibly hide himself here inside the natural. It doesn't look like it because we've got Marine, the cleanup crew, moving out, and the Cybernetics core is down along with the second gas. So First certainly going with a more standard build than what we've seen out of him in the past games. And we're going to see expansion here get thrown down. What is TaeJa going to do?
Yeah, it looks like he's working on that gas, so he's going to drop the factory. So we'll have to see if it's a reactor-based play, or excuse me, not reactor, I mean a Hellion-based play, or Stargate-based play, or both of the above, as we've got a second refinery coming down for TaeJa. So everything's on the table. We've seen him do a lot with Banshees, actually, opening up with Banshees into expansion and just being annoying with the Banshees, even using them to supplement drops afterwards.
Yeah, whether he actually decides to go with that. Ohana, to me, is always kind of a weird map for that, just because it does seem so large. But First right now is at least going to be covering the middle of the map. Of course, that leaves the left and the right side of the map completely open for Banshee play. And here we now have a Stalker moving up here. Check on potential expansion. No, it's not there. And there's the Tech Lab and the Starport. And keeping a close eye now on the gas. How high will he be when that Starport's finished? And will he be going with the Cloak Banshee? It continues to climb, so I'm going to have to say that he will be going Cloak, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, he was very late on that second refinery, so I'm not 100% that it's going to be Cloak. He's getting the Tech Lab on his factory now and adding on another barracks, so I think it's just going to be kind of like a 2-1-1 build using the Banshee. Let's see how wrong I am as this Banshee's coming out, and you're right, the gas does continue to climb.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if he would have wanted to go with that perfect Cloak timing, he would have been able to start that Cloak right away. But as he hits 200, he's actually going to start producing tanks. So just the Banshee coming out. And this is really gearing up to look like timing that's just going to push and has every intention to kill. Right. A little unique that TaeJa would be doing this on a map that could potentially give his opponent the lead, but he is the liquid TaeJa, so I'm really not going to question it. I'm just going to kind of sit back and watch it. talk about what I see, but that first Banshee is out, and he may not even choose to do anything. No, he's going to go up the west side of the map as he starts to get this Marine tank army prepared for a potential push. Do not see anything like a well, what kind of upgrades do we have on these Marines right now? Nothing. We don't even have a barracks with a tech lab. So, this is going to be a pretty vanilla attack.
Very beautifully by First. The Observer just caught the edge of the Banshee as the Banshee floats in and runs into the ultimate trap. There's actually an Observer here with this. Unnecessary. But look at these Stalkers already going to town. TaeJa may lose this Banshee. This is going to be huge. Oh, get out of there. Okay. Okay, it's okay.
Safety, yeah. And you could see he wanted to take out that sentry, but even turning around once would have put him in a very, very bad position. His robotics bay has gone up, and it has not been scouted as far as I know. If we just take a look at the vision, nope, it is not seen on the map of TaeJa. And now TaeJa is going to be moving forward. Now, with that robotics bay finishing up, there's not going to be a Colossus out before this first attack. And there's relatively not a whole lot of units here for First. This could be pretty devastating. And look, with that Banshee still fighting, he might be able to catch these 3 Stalkers, but no stims, so he's not going to be able to. All of the units, though, are going to have to come down to the natural.
Yeah, First was well aware that this is coming. He has the Observer, or had it, in the main base of TaeJa, so he actually canceled that Immortal and is chrono boosting out a Colossus as fast as possible. TaeJa's not going to be happy to see that, but he can try to deal with it with the Banshees and the Siege tank. Siege mode is not complete. He's actually researching it, so he didn't intend to use it, but now realizing he needs a Banshee, getting very close to being picked off there as it continues to whittle down that pylon. But First Colossus is out. Extended Thermal Lance in no way even close to starting, as First is just trying to slam out as many units as possible to defend this all in.
Yeah, and I'm curious. I mean, well, here's a lot of SCVs. He's definitely going to be going for it. Low, or if he sieges up on the low ground and then brings it up there, he's repairing the Banshees. And, I mean, I would just love to see him maybe take those directly into the main, poke forward, not even really sacrificing anything. Keep in mind that Observer is still watching everything, and he's going to push forward, not even let that bunker finish up. And we do have the SCVs and the Banshees going on to the west side. He's going to go up there. There is a 3 Stalker warp in, but TaeJa's pretty committed to this.
Yeah, very nice. He's going to draw the army out. And actually, First is bringing everything. Is everything on one hotkey? What is he doing? That's going to let TaeJa charge up the ramp if he wants to, if he's got the control. But looks like he doesn't want to do that. He wants to do... Oh, yes, he does, but he's just a little slow to react. Pulling all his units up, now realizing it's a bad idea, advancing the siege, so he does get the advanced position out of there, but a little bit of a missed opportunity there for TaeJa. Up and everything's good to go as TaeJa is now resuming his assault up the ramp of First, trying to break this. He did miss that timing to move his army up, if everyone remembers when the Banshees moved into the main base. But now he's kind of found his footing, swinging around to deal a little bit of damage down on these Immortals, harassing with these Banshees, trying to go to work on the Robo. And looks like First has just had enough, trying to crash forward. I'm not sure if I like this. The tanks are exposed. So First able to take out 1 tank, 2 tanks, but 1 Colossus going down, and that's absolutely huge. The Zealots able to charge forward, and they're doing quite a bit of damage here.
Wow, the Zealots doing a ton of damage, and they might be the saving grace here for First, as we do see, as you mentioned, those Banshees really ripping through a lot of those units. But there it is, the GG.